Hi everyone, this is Jennifer Miller for Project and Portfolio 1, and in this mood board tutorial we're going to look at how to set up your mood board using our Pages template file. And this is what our template is going to look like. It has a bunch of different gray squares, and we'll get to that in a minute. The first thing we want to do is go to the upper left hand corner, double click and enter your name. And then you'll see that we have all these different box options here. And then we also have a box set up for our color palette, which is a separate tutorial that you can check out to create your color palette using Adobe Color. Now for the images, you can have between 9 and 11 images in here, and the color palette is not counted towards your 9 to 11 images. And I love Pages because it's so simple. So the first thing I want to do is show you how to add your images in. So what I'm going to do is pull a JPEG that I just had saved on my desktop, and I'm going to think about if this is going to be a better fit into a square or a portrait, a vertical box, but I think I'm going to put it here because I know that it is a landscape format. And then I can grab my screenshot of my color palette, and I'm going to add the color palette in here. Now this image as it isn't formatted vertically. Well, that's okay. If you want to have your color palette stay in a horizontal format, you can totally do that and adjust these boxes to make it work. But if I want to keep it here in this horizontal format, then I'm going to go over to Arrange and down to Rotate, and I'm gonna rotate my box. If I hold down the Shift key, it's gonna lock it in that 90 degrees. Okay, now you'll notice that my bounding box is only taking up half of my palette. So when I'm in this edit mode, then I can grab these black corners and drag this out and hit done. So now you'll see I have my color palette. Now I need to rotate the entire box here. So I'm going to go back to rotate, and now you'll see it takes the color palette with it. Hold down Shift, it will lock in at 90 degrees. Now it's still a little big to fit in here, so I'm going to take the corner of the white handles, and when I grab the white handles, it's going to size down the entire box there. Okay, so now I have my color palette for my mood board. Again, you don't have to put it vertically, but if you want to, that's how you can set it up. You can also put it anywhere else in your mood board that you want to. So now let's look at the other squares. Now, if you guys like the way that this template is set up as it is, and you like the way it's laid out, and your images fit in all of these different boxes, then by all means you can keep it the way it is if you want to, but I'm hoping that you guys will want to experiment and kind of move things around. So each one of these boxes is already set up for you to be a photo box, so you can just drag and drop like I did with the New Zealand picture. You can also move things around and resize them. So we were just talking about resizing. Once again, I grab the white corners, it's going to keep the proportions and size it bigger or smaller. If I wanted to fit in this specific space, then what I can do is I'll double click it, which opens the edit window, or I can go up to Image, Edit Mask, and that's going to open that. Then when I grab those black dots, that will let me resize it down to the shape that I want. And then again, I can drag and drop my image right on top of it. So I want you guys to play around with this, move these boxes around. If you don't like the clutter and you'd rather just start deleting boxes and start making them from scratch and doing one at a time, you can totally do that too. Here's how you add new shapes. Go up to the shape box here, and you'll see that you can also add triangles or stars or even circles to maintain the circle ratio, hold down the shift key while you drag and resize. You don't have to use any other shape. You can use all squares or all rectangles if you want to, but if you prefer to try something a little different, by all means go for it, as long as you follow the image requirements that we provided you. And then once you have that shape in there, we can just drag that image that we want, move it around, there. And you'll have those other images in there too, okay? So you do want to try to resize your images to fill up your screen. I wouldn't want all this extra white space down here. I'd want to try to fill that up with some photos and some images. So it's kind of like a puzzle where you'll have to play around with everything and piece it all together in a way that it's going to work for your project. When you're all done, then we're going to just do a quick export. So we're going to do File, Export to PDF, and change the image quality to best, and then hit Next, and it's going to tell you or prompt you where you want to save your file. Okay? If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. That's all for now. I hope you guys have an awesome day and enjoy working on your mood board.